Well, I love palliative care and geriatrics. For such a long time, I've been involved in it, but every veterinarian is going to care for senior pets. And every veterinarian, whether they're in general practice, the emergency clinic, or a specialty clinic, will deal with dying pets. It's just a part of what we have to do. But a lot of people will ask me, why do you just do this? And I know the importance of saying goodbye to a pet because I myself have lost many, and it is the reason why I became a veterinarian. I lost one of my pets tragically when I was in my 30s, and that changed my life. It's what made me go back to vet school. So being able to focus on geriatrics and the end of life gives me the opportunity to kind of come full circle in my own life. And every pet that I've lost, I've learned so much from. And I could really help families that are dealing with all the different ailments, all the different diseases, all the different reasons why pets will pass. I've been through so many of them, from mobility to cancer to kidney failure and anxiety and all in between. So I could really bring what I've learned as a pet owner to help my families. And there's nothing better than a skinny old cat or a wobbly old dog. So it's a wonderful niche to be in, and it's one that is so rewarding and something I can't imagine not doing. All right, I'm going to answer this in two different ways because there's two lessons I've learned. One is the business Dr. Mary, and the other is the Dr. Mary. The business is make sure that you surround yourself with people who not only get what you do and have the capacity to do it and do it even better than you. So surround yourself with people that are better at marketing, that are better at, dealing with clients, that are better at medicine, because I can always learn from them as well. So that's my greatest business lesson, is surround yourself with the most amazing team that get what you're doing to their core as well. As a doctor, my biggest lesson is no judgment, because what I would do, what another family would do may not be the same, and neither are right. And so you have to go into end of life and hospice care with your judgment hat off. That's my greatest lesson. Okay, so biggest challenge is something that makes me so sad. People will assume it's because of the euthanasia that I'm sad, but it's not. What's sad is that 50% of dying animals that are euthanized in the hospital have not seen their doctor a year before that. So that is so sad to me, because we can do so much for that pet, whether it's pain management, anxiety management, comfort care, also helping families manage the ailments that they're having. We can help so much in that last year of life, and 50% of families are not going to their veterinarian to get the care they need, not only for the pet, but for them. So please, I encourage everybody, if you've got a senior or geriatric pet, go see your veterinarian, because there's so many things you can do to help you. It is a very difficult decision for a family of knowing when to say goodbye to their pet or when to have their pet euthanized. And there's not one size fits all answer. This is a conversation that I have with my families that takes about a half an hour to an hour, because every family's beliefs are different. Every family's budgets are different. And I'm not just being money, I mean time. Physically, can they manage their pet? Emotionally, what does this pet mean for them? Is this the last living link a husband has to his wife that he lost a year ago, right? Like, everybody's different and every situation is different. So you cannot go into this answer with a quick one, right? So the discussions I have with families are going to take into consider what they can manage, how well their pet is managing, and their pet's quality of life and the owner's quality of life. So I have a lot of scales actually that we use, that we go through and evaluate their pet's quality of life. And everybody's idea of a good day is different. And that's one thing I want to encourage people to think about, because they'll say, I want more good days than bad. What is a good day, right? Is a good day when they could walk, around the corner Or is it a good day that just that they get up, right? It's so subjective. And so it's a difficult decision to make. And it's one that I help guide my families through and support them whatever they would do. So at any time, the big overarching answer, though, is that any time a pet is in hospice care, a pet has a terminal illness that they will pass from within the next 6 months, or at any time that the pet has so many ailments of being old that it's difficult for the family to manage them, I support their decision to say goodbye. And that could be on a day where they've had a horrible weekend before that and they can't imagine doing that, having those bad days again. Or it could be on a beautiful day because they've had the last 2 days where everything is perfect and they want that to be their last day because that's what they want for their pet, is to have good last few days. And I'll always say that it's better a day too soon than a day too late. So this is a very personal decision, and I think what's important for a crematory to do is provide all of the information available. We're such a death-adverse society that people don't want to talk about options or death or cremation, right? But we need to be the ones that educate our families. We need to educate the veterinarians in our area of all the different options that we have. And it's also important not to judge that family. It's okay if a family does not want their ashes returned to them. It doesn't mean they loved that pet any less, right? It doesn't mean anything. It just means they're not attached to that part of the process. But regardless of what they want to do with their pet's ashes, we as crematories need to make sure we honor that pet and treat them with love and dignity, regardless of the aftercare the family deserves. But I think when we're able to provide the space, the education, and listening to a family as a crematory, we're going to help them through the grieving process. And another thing that's really important is for families to say, I love you to their pets. And when you allow a family to view their pet after, their passing in like a memorial service or something like that, the one thing I encourage you to do is tell your families to say, I love you to that pet. Because when you're able to say, I love you, you will grieve a little bit better. This is a great question, and it's not very easy to answer, but what I want families to do when their pets are declining, whether it's from a terminal illness or just the number of ailments that happen to pets as they age, is to talk to their veterinarian and talk about palliative care, because palliative care means I'm going to make sure my pet is in the least amount of pain and anxiety possible. And a lot of people don't want to talk about hospice or palliative care because they think they're giving up. And I encourage you to not think that way. It is absolutely not about giving up. Life and death happens. It's just a reality. But what we can do is make sure we live well until we die. And that's what palliative care and hospice can do for a family. So if they have any questions that the time is near and can they do more, you can, and you can do hospice. I would advise families to actually plan for their passing. And so many don't want to do this. We don't want to think about ever having to say goodbye to our pets. But if we can plan, we can make sure that who wants to be present can be present. You want to make sure that if you want to have a party for your pet, you have a party. If you want to be the only person there with the veterinarian, that's okay. Do you want everybody to come say goodbye and then leave? Do you want other pets present? Do you want children present? Do you want to write letters to your pets? Like, there's so many things that we can do. So it's not a cold, sterile experience, right? It could be filled with love, with joy, with remembrance. And so I encourage people to pre-plan. It's difficult to do, but if you pre-plan, you can then set it aside. If you do your bucket list, you can do all those things. And then when the time comes, you got your plan. You know what veterinarian you want to have help you. You know what crematory you want to have. You know what service you want. You know what memorial items you want. You don't have to worry. And all you have to do is focus on your pet. And if you want a loving, dignified, and peaceful goodbye, that is with euthanasia. Some people who don't believe in that or want Mother Nature to do it, we cannot guarantee that it will be peaceful and without pain, but we can guarantee that with euthanasia. Veterinary hospice is so important because it's the last stage you'll have with your pet, right? And we can provide really good comfort and care for your pet while they're going through their early stages of dying and passing. And what's important in stories is the end. And with hospice, we can make sure every ending is a good one. I think a big picture of me over there would be good. I loved my time visiting MEMO. What I really love is that it's family owned, because I know that the values that you all share will go into the work that you do. So that is number one to me. Is amazing to see. It's amazing to see that you guys care so much about this process, so much that you've invited to be here. Like that's amazing, and I really respect and honor that. Everything is beautiful. It's serene. There's the beautiful mountain that I could look at when I think of my cat. There's birds flying over, and I can tell how you set up your crematory is a mirror of how you will handle somebody's pet, right? And so the care that you have with your facility is a direct relationship for how you will care for a pet. And that's what I see here. So I see a very organized facility. I see a clean facility. I see attention to detail. And those are all the things that I know that you will think about when you're handling somebody's beloved pet. And so I give this place an A+. It's amazing. And thank you so much for having me come.